The brink of nuclear war as Vladimir Putin warns the West, and the credit card debt crisis in America. Today, I read an article on Yahoo.com, put out by Reuters, and written by Vladimir Soldikin and Guy Falconbridge, titled, Putin Issues Nuclear Warning to the West Over Strikes on Russia from Ukraine. According to the author, President Vladimir Putin warned the West on Wednesday that Russia could use nuclear weapons if it was struck with conventional missiles, and that Moscow would consider any assault on it supported by nuclear power to be a joint attack. Here are my thoughts. It seems as though Putin may be afraid for the first time. He may consider this as a big threat to his power, which he is desperately trying to hold on to. I think other nations need to be very careful. It's really anyone's guess how a scared man who is trying to flex his muscles with nuclear threats could do if provoked. If the worst-case scenario of a nuclear launch came to fruition, I can't even imagine the ramifications. The entire world as we know it would be turned upside down in just about every way that you can possibly imagine. Even in areas that are not impacted by an attack. Imagine the panic, the grocery stores running out of everything, the stock market being halted, gas stations running out of gas, etc. If you were alive during the Twin Tower attacks in 2001, you may remember gas stations running out of gas. You may remember the long lines. You may remember how scared people were about what was going to happen next. Let's hope leaders around the world tread carefully and don't push Putin. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, Putin can bluster all he wants, but at the end of the day, NATO has far deeper resources than he has. There is no way that Russia would win a confrontation with NATO. Furthermore, he has in his hands the power to end this tension in a day. All he needs to do is get the heck out of Ukraine. It really isn't that difficult to understand. The next commenter said, the world has become too complacent about nuclear weapons. In a conventional war, there aren't any true winners. One side just loses less. In a nuclear exchange, the whole world loses regardless of whether or not their country was at war. The last comment is pretty long, but I found it to be interesting, so I'm going to share it with you anyway. This commenter said, listen people, our military can't even take on China. We have no business in another country's war, and we, the United States, need to stop meddling in other countries' affairs. Ukraine is in this spot because of U.S. meddling under Clinton when he convinced Ukraine to give up their nuclear weapons. They were dumb enough to trust and listen to Clinton and have been losing pieces of their country ever since. In addition, they held and democratically elected a president into office, and once again it was us, the United States, that stepped in and overthrew a duly elected president of their country and installed one of our puppets. Americans who do not pay attention to foreign affairs in history have no room speaking about matters they don't understand. Zelensky had signed a peace agreement with Putin as Trump was leaving office, and it was the Biden-Harris administration that told him to tear up and disavow the agreement. Furthermore, the United States has broken their word with the Russian country for decades, starting with the installation of missile shields in previous territories held by Russia, and then with a chemical weapons plant on the Ukrainian-Russian border. Ukraine trying to enter NATO was the last straw and led directly to this conflict. Bottom line, Russia is done playing, and Putin will unleash a tactical nuke if we hand over those cruise missiles. He's changed his doctrine to go to war with the West. We can't take on Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on CNN Business, written by Elizabeth Buchwald, titled, Americans are drowning in credit card debt. Trump's proposed cap on interest rates probably won't help. According to the author, Americans' credit card debt is at a record high of $1.14 trillion, and the average credit card interest rate was 21.5% in May. The author went on to reference Donald Trump as saying, while working Americans catch up, we're going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates. We can't let them make 25 and 30%. The author went on to reference data from Experian that revealed the average American has racked up $6,500 in credit card debt. Here are my thoughts. Even if Trump's plan came to fruition, it might only help temporarily. Some people would use the opportunity to go out and spend more money and rack up more debt. There are people who just can't help themselves. I could even see companies targeting consumers during the period of reprieve to get them to spend as much as possible at their businesses. I feel bad for people who are struggling with credit card debt right now. I realize not everyone is in a situation where they are spending frivolously. Some people are struggling to afford life during this period of high inflation. There are Americans who have no choice but to use a credit card to put food on the table. This is the grim reality for countless people in this country. I don't see it getting better anytime soon. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on CNN Business, written by Hannah Rabinowitz, titled, U.S. Justice Department accuses Visa of illegal monopoly that adds to the price of nearly everything. According to the author, the U.S. Justice Department filed a lawsuit Tuesday accusing Visa of illegally monopolizing the credit card market. The department alleges that Visa has abused its dominant position in the debit card market to force businesses to use Visa's network instead of competitors and to stop new alternatives from entering the market. The author said more than 60% of debt transactions in the country take place on Visa's debit network and is able to charge more than $7 billion in processing fees on those transactions. Here are my thoughts. This is an unfortunate situation. If there was more competition, it is certainly possible Americans and businesses could save money. When companies become too integrated into society and get too much power, this is the type of thing that happens. I wish the Justice Department the best as they go after Visa. At least they have unlimited resources to pursue it. I can't imagine a private company trying to go after a giant like Visa. Only time will tell how this all shakes out. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.